When I filmed this boy at Christmas 2010, nearly a year after the earthquake that destroyed Haiti, 800,000 people were still living in tents. By the summer of 2012, 2.5 years after the earthquake, nearly 400,000 people were still living in tents. Still living without running water or electricity, or an adequate supply of food. This boy lost his home and his leg in the earthquake. Yet the earthquake could not destroy his heart and his hope. This is Cité Soleil in Port-au-Prince. It's the oldest, largest, and worst slum in Haiti. The place was a nightmare before the earthquake destroyed most of the city. My name is Jerry Straub. I'm the founder and president of Bonum Communications, a nonprofit public charity that strives to serve the poor through the power of film. I filmed these images just 3 weeks before the earthquake. And just days after the earthquake, I returned to Port-au-Prince to document the unimaginable death and destruction that killed over 300,000 people and left 1.5 million people homeless and left the city buried under tons upon tons of endless rubble. After those first 2 trips to the severely impoverished nation, I returned 7 more times over the course of the next 15 months in order to chronicle the plight of the desperate poor, living in massive tent cities and overcrowded slums. During my time in Haiti, I immersed myself fully into the life of the most marginalized slum dwellers. Like them, I lived without running water or electricity, and with rats. The result of all those trips and all that time is an epic feature film titled Mud Pies and Kites, which is the first film produced by my new ministry, Bonum Communications. Our mission is to produce and present compelling media that foster compassion for the homeless, hungry, and downtrodden. We hope to inspire a genuine and respectful fraternity among all people. Our vision is of a world where children no longer hunger, families enjoy safe shelter, wealthy countries and people share their bounties with those in need, and all live in peace. Bonum Communications offers free print and electronic media to charitable organizations striving to feed the hungry and relieve the suffering of chronic poverty. These materials will help those organizations develop funding for their work. But making films for individuals and organizations dedicated to helping the poor is only part of what we do. Another vitally important part of our ministry is giving presentations at churches, high schools, and colleges across the United States, and even in Europe. I've given over 180 presentations the past 8 years. Titled Poverty in Prayer, The presentation incorporates clips from my films, along with my personal conversion story of going from an atheist and Hollywood television producer to making heart-wrenching documentary films on global and domestic poverty. These free educational presentations create awareness of the bitter plight of the poor and marginalized, and motivate people to do something to relieve the unjust suffering. Rooted in Franciscan spirituality, along with the mystical traditions of all faiths, Pax et Bonum Communications champions the importance of contemplation and action. We believe the best way to love God is through acts of love, mercy, compassion, and kindness, especially for those living in acute poverty. We believe that care for the chronically poor is an essential component of the spiritual life. We believe everyone is called to a life of sharing, caring, and giving. Our goal is to stress the necessity of prayer, peace, harmony, humility, and social justice. In the spirit of St. Francis of Assisi, we hope to show the connectedness of all of creation, which will promote a deeper understanding and appreciation of the common good and our essential need to become nurturers, healers, and consolers. We will not shy away from confronting the injustice of global poverty, where more than 10,000 children a day die of starvation. We will be a strong, consistent, and prophetic voice, speaking out on behalf of the poor and encouraging people to enter more deeply into prayer and to become more compassionate to those in dire need. Our name comes from the salutation always used by St. Francis, peace and good. Pax et Bonum is the Latin translation of the saint's wish for everyone he encountered. In his native Italian, Francis would have said pace e bene, which we prefer to translate as peace and blessing. And peace and blessing is what we hope and pray Pax et Bonum Communications offers to a world sorely in need of peace and blessing. Please help us to continue to serve the poor through the power of film. We are a 501c3 public charity.